Welcome to Finland and my initial impressions of my first 2 days in Tampere for the European Under-20 Championships. I've got two athletes competing here, Bora and Daniel. Now, the competition lasts 4 days and there are qualifying rounds for both. I'll talk more about those in a little bit. Just wanted to tell you what this video is about. I'm going to give you my impressions of what it's like coming out here as an unaccredited coach, and then I'm going to go through the type of training that both athletes have done in the days that they're here before their competitions, and give you a little bit of an insight into what actually happens at a major championships. Right, what's it like being a coach at these competitions? Well, I've been to quite a few as a coach, a couple of European Under-20 Championships, Under-18s, World Under-20s and Senior European Championships, for example. And as a non-team affiliated coach, it can be a bit of a struggle to actually get out here. You need the finances and the support of the athletes, hopefully, and also you need a bit of luck when it comes to gaining access to facilities to help your athletes. Now, luckily enough, I was able to gain access to the 2 tracks that were in use today, which is the day before the competition starts on the Thursday. So I went to the main arena where most of the nation's athletes were there, getting familiar with the facility. The British team wasn't there in its entirety. They'd actually gone the day before, which was a clever move as it enabled the athletes to have much freer access to the facility. I worked with Bora from Hungary at the track this morning, and she was able to do a pretty full session as she's not actually competing until Saturday. Saturday, at the time of making this video, is 2 days in advance. Now, Daniel is competing tomorrow, which is the Thursday, the first day of the competition here, and he's got his qualification round. So both Bora, Daniel, have to go through qualification rounds, and believe it or not, it's 7 meters 80 for Daniel's. Now, I actually coached a European Under-20 champion about a decade ago, Elliot Sappho, and he won the title with 7 meters 86. So that shows you how the events come on, or rather, as I feel, they've put a too high qualification standard in place for tomorrow's qualification. Only 5 people, including Daniel, have achieved that qualification. There are 27 people in his competition. Now, they take 12 people through. It'll be the top 12 either on everybody jumping 7 meters 80 or above, or those that jump 7 meters 80 plus the next best after that. So if 5 people jump 780, then a further 7 will go through. The next best 7 will go through of right to the final. For Bora, she has to jump 6 meters 40, which is again a high standard, probably 10 to 15 centimeters higher than we thought would be the case. In her competition, there are less jumpers, 17, compared to Daniel's 27. Okay, so what training did they do? Let's start with Bora, as she did more work, as she's got the 2 days before the competition on the Saturday. Well, we did some run-ups and some activations before that to get her ready. We did a couple of first stages of the run-up and then full run-ups on the competition pits, to the competition pits, so that she's going to get familiar with those. Always a good idea to do that. And then we did 3 jumps off of 10 steps. Just a takeoff initially, then the first stage of the hitch kick, and then a complete jump, focusing on the key areas that we've been working on. For example, not taking the hand back when rotating it through the hitch in order not to bring the body back throughout the cycle, and also extending into the landing so that she can maximize her distance. After working with Bora, I then managed to get to another venue that's being used throughout the time of the Euro Under-20s here in Tampere to catch up with Daniel. Now, he'd worked with the Team GB coaches to a session that I'd set for him. Now, he's competing tomorrow, so we obviously didn't want to do a lot of work today. And he just did some build-up runs, for example, to 90%, and some drills and some walking paced movements where, for example, he's walking through the hitch kick action. So he's priming himself, getting ready for the competition. He also had a light massage afterwards to relax his muscles, but not too much, as you don't want to create the wrong tone in the muscles, which is actually going to work against competing. As a coach, it can be difficult at these championships to get access to the arenas if you're not an official member of one of the nations competing. Passes are not given out to that many personal coaches. It does vary from country to country, and I know that some teams do get accreditation for more of their personal coaches. I don't think I'll be able to get into the warm-up areas for neither Bora or Daniel whilst I'm here, but again, they've been prepared and they know what they're supposed to be doing. Always work through with your athletes what they're going to do, and that also applies to the warm-up and to the competition, where having a competition strategy is really useful. I'll go through the strategies that we came up for both Bora and Daniel on the competition days in a subsequent video, as I don't want to make this one too long. Of course, for me, I've got to find my way around Tampere to get to the tracks, and luckily, having the day before the competition starts tomorrow enabled me to get familiar with the travel, how to get from venue to venue, and importantly for the competitions, how to get to the major track. Well, I hope you like this kind of more informal, chatty style of vlog that gives you a little bit of a taste of what it's like being at a major championships, either as a coach or as an athlete. If you've any questions, do leave them in the comments section below. I'll be updating on how both Bora and Daniel do in further videos.